BIDMAS is what we're going to be looking at in this video. So it's split into 6 parts. We're going to start by looking at multiplication with addition and subtraction, and then division with multiplication and subtraction, and then questions like this. And then we're going to move on to looking at multiplication and division, and then looking at questions with indices, multiplication, division, and addition. And then finally, looking at brackets and indices too. So we're going to cover everything in BIDMAS. So the way my videos work, I'm going to do the example on the left, which is I do. You are then going to press pause and have got the example on the right, which is you do. So looking at this first question, 5 plus 1 times 2. Now you might be tempted to do 5 plus 1 first and then times 2, and that would be incorrect. So the wrong answer here would be 6 times 2, okay, 12. That is incorrect. And if you type that into your calculator, you will see that the answer is 7. And the reason the answer is 7 is because we have something called BIDMAS, and that is the order of operations. So when you have multiple operations, like times and addition, there's an order in which you do them. So if you look down here, the B stands for brackets, the I stands for indices, the D is for division, M is for multiplication, A is for addition, and S is for subtraction. So looking at this, we have 2 signs here in this question. So we have a times sign and an add sign. So you can see that multiplication appears before addition, okay? So multiplication appears before addition, which means we do the multiplication first. So if I rub off the wrong answer, I can put brackets around what I need to do first to make my life easier. So according to BIDMAS, I need to multiply before I can add. So if I now rewrite this question, that becomes 5 plus 1 times 2, which is 2, which is 7. So hopefully you've pressed pause and adequate example on the right. So I'm going to put brackets around what I need to do first. So if you look at BIDMAS, you can see that you need to multiply first. So let's put brackets around this. So that then becomes 3 plus 4 times 2, which is 8. And then 8, 9, 10, 11 is your answer. So moving on, we've now got multiplication and subtraction. And again, if you look at this BIDMAS, this is the order the order of operations. So we can see that multiplication appears before subtraction. So we'll put brackets around the multiplication. So that becomes 5 minus 2, and the answer is 3. Again, hopefully you've pressed pause and adequate example on the right. So we are going to put brackets around the multiplication, which is 6 minus 8. And just being careful here, you end up with a negative answer. So moving on, we've now got division and addition. Again, if you look at this, you can see that division, D, appears before addition. So we're going to divide first. So let me put brackets around that. So now that just becomes 1 plus 9 divided by 3 is 3. And the answer is 4. Again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at this. So I'll put brackets around the division. That becomes 5 plus 2, which is 7. So here's some practice questions for you to have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. Now moving on, we are looking at slightly harder questions, but the exact same principles apply. So here we have 3 signs. We have 2 times signs and an add sign. And now we know that the multiplication appears before the addition. So we're going to use brackets. So we can put brackets around this multiplication and this one. Now, if we do the brackets first, so that'll be 4 times 3, which is 12. Keep the plus sign, which comes from there. And then 2 times 1, which is 2. And the answer becomes 14. Again, if you look at the example on the right, you know that the multiplication must happen before the subtraction. So that is 8 minus 6, which gives us 2. So moving on, again, looking at BIDMAS, we know that the division must happen first, and then the addition. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, plus 9 divided by 3, which is 3, and that becomes 8. And again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at this. So that is that and that. So that'll be 10 minus 4, which gives us 6. So here's some practice questions. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. So moving on, we now have a question with multiplication and division. So if you look at BIDMAS again, the order of operations is telling us we are going to divide before we multiply, okay, because we work down like this. So I'll put brackets around the divide. We'll do that first. So we end up with 7 times 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then the answer becomes 21. And again, I'll put brackets around the division. That becomes 5 times 3, which is 15. And now looking at something a little bit trickier, again, the exact same principles apply. We are going to take this step by step. So first thing we're going to do is divide. So we'll copy everything else. 7 times 2 plus 1. What is 6 divided by 3? Well, that is just going to be 2. Okay, now if we're left with this. So we know that we're going to multiply. I'll use a different color here. We're going to multiply before we add. So 7 times 2 becomes 14 plus 2, which is 16. Okay, and just to recap that, we first divided, then we multiplied, and then we did the addition 3. So again, hopefully you press pause and had to go at this. So the first thing we're going to do is divide that, so I can copy the whole question. 2 times 3 plus 4 divided by 8, or I should say divided by 4 is 2. And now we're left with multiplication and addition, and we know we must multiply first, so that is 6 plus 2, which is 8. And moving on to this, again, exact same thing. So looking at this, I know I need to do the division first according to BIDMAS, so I'm going to do 7 times 6 divided by 2, that is 3. And if I use a different color here, I know I need to multiply first, so that is 7, 14, 21 plus 4, and that gives me the answer as 25. So again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go. So division first, so 5 times 9 divided by 3 is 3 plus 1. And then we have the multiplication again, according to BIDMAS first, 15 plus 1, which is 16. So here's some practice questions for you to have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers, mark your work. And now moving on, we are looking at indices. So that is what the I stands for here, okay? Indices. So this little power that you see here, this is called indices. Again, if you look down this, we can see indices come before multiplication. So we have indices and multiplications. So again, I can use my brackets. If I put my brackets around that, I need to do that first. So it'll be 4 times 3 squared, which is 9. And then we're just left with 4 times 9, which is just 36. So again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go. So indices come first, and then the multiplication. And again, looking at this, we can see the indices is what's going to happen first. So it'll be 4 times 2 squared, which is 4 plus 7. And then the multiplication must happen before the addition. So that will be 16 plus 7. And then you just do 16 plus 7, which gives you 23. And then again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had to go at this. So we know the indices are going to happen first. And then we know the multiplication is what's next, looking at this. So that is 9 plus 24, which then gives us 33. And moving on. So again, looking at this one looks slightly harder, but the exact same principles. Look at this. What comes first? I can see the indices is going to happen first. Then we have the division is going to happen second. Then the multiplication is going to happen third. And then the addition is going to happen fourth. So we can solve this question in 4 steps. So step 1, indices. So that is 3 times 4 divided by 2 plus 1. Step 2, so the division happens next. I'll use a different color. So 3 times 2 plus 1. Next step, the multiplication happens first. 6 plus 1, and there is your answer, 7. So again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at this. So brackets around what I need to do first. I'll use a different color here. Division is what's next. Again, I'll use a different color here. And that is 19 there. So finally, we are looking at B. B is the brackets, okay? Brackets is the thing you do first, okay? That has the most priority. So here, you might think, oh, don't we multiply before we add? No, you do the brackets first. Whatever's in the brackets, you do first. So in this case, we've been given brackets, so we need to do this first. Well, what's in the brackets? 1 plus 2, so that's 3. And then we just copy the other 3, and that gives us 9. Okay, that's where that 3 came from. And looking at the right, again, you do the brackets first. Okay, so that'll be 20 divided by 4, which is 5. And again, looking at this, brackets first. 4 times 6 times 3. And then you're just left with 4 times 6 times 3, and that gives you 72. And on the right, we have brackets first, so 3 times, we're going to do this first, 20, divide that by 5. Now, using BIDMAS, we need to do this next. So that would be 3 times 4, and that just gives me 12. And now looking at the next one, again, brackets first, so that is 5 times 3 squared plus 4. So again, according to BIDMAS, indices is what we're going to do next. 5, let me just tidy that up. So we have 5 times 9 plus 4. And again, according to BIDMAS now, we are going to do that first. So that is 45 plus 4, which is 49. So again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had to go at the example on the right. So we do have the brackets, but inside the brackets, we have an indice. So we're going to do the indices first, okay, inside the brackets. So yeah, 2 times 25. We can keep the brackets that were already there. And now we're going to do what's in the brackets again. So that'll be 50 divided by 10, which is 5. So here's some practice questions for you to have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. If you would like more practice on this, I've got a full worksheet over on my website. I'll link it down in the comments below. And if you did enjoy this video, I've got loads of other content like this over on my YouTube channel.